how sometimes English just throws you a curveball?
Oh, definitely.
People say one thing, but you just know they mean something else entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into the wonderfully weird world of English idioms.
Yeah, those phrases where the words themselves don't quite add up to the meaning.
Exactly. These are those set phrases, fixed word order, non-literal meaning. And believe me, if you're getting the hang of idioms, that's a serious win for your English skills.
Absolutely. Think of idioms as a layer of cultural understanding baked right into the language. Knowing them isn't just about sounding fluent, it's about truly grasping the nuances.
So your mission today, and since you're tuning in, you've already signed up, is to get a real grip on some super common English idioms.
Now we've got a great source lined up, right?
We do. A YouTube video from J. Forrest English called "If You Know These 60 Idioms, Your English is Excellent." We're going to pull out the most useful bits and give you a fast track to understanding and using them naturally.
Sounds good. Unpacking the nuances.
Okay, let's dive in.
What's fascinating about idioms is how they often bypass literal meaning altogether. Their power comes from, shared cultural experience and repeated use.
Exactly. Let's kick off with some of the classics, looking at the first batch from the video. First up, break the ice.
Ah, yes. Smoothing over that initial awkwardness.
Right. When people meet, you know that feeling when the conversation just isn't flowing?
Mm-hmm.
The video gives a great example. Sharing your favorite food to get things started in a meeting. It's about shifting the social dynamic, kind of low-stakes interaction.
Right, lowering that initial barrier to comfortable communication.
Yeah.
And it's so important to remember the fixed structure.
Oh, yeah.
You always break the ice, not broke ice or, broken ice. The verb changes tense. Sure, you break the ice, you broke the ice, but the rest stays put.
Good point. And listen to how native speakers use it in the video. Shake some hands, break the ice, and make small talk.
And taking genuine interest to help break the ice makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
It does. Okay, next. Knock it out of the park. This is a great one.
Means to do something exceptionally well, right?
Totally. The video talks about a team's innovative product launch, saying, "The team knocked it out of the park." Really highlights that value English speakers place on, standing out.
And notice how the video also points out, you can phrase it slightly differently, the team knocked the product launch out of the park.
Yeah.
Both ways capture that outstanding success. Absolutely nailing it. It's that baseball metaphor, hitting a home run.
So positive, so impactful. And the host of the video playfully checks if she knocked it out of the park with her explanation.
Yeah.
Love that. The native speaker examples really solidify it, being educated at this great college where traditional schools knock it out of the park in many places.
And how rare it is for a first movie to really knock it out of the park. It's all about exceeding expectations.
So if you ace that presentation,
You've knocked it out of the park. And you see how idioms borrow from specific cultural things, like sports here.
definitely. Okay, let's move on to Between a Rock and a Hard Place. This one paints such a clear picture.
Oh yeah, stuck between two equally bad options.
Exactly. The video's example of a dream job offer that requires moving away from family. Perfect illustration.
The inherent difficulty of the choice is key. You're kind of stuck no matter what.
Right. And the other example, telling the truth versus hurting a friend, it shows how that second bad option might just be implied.
It speaks to that universal thing of facing tough choices where, no outcome feels great.
It's a no-win situation. The native speaker examples really hit home, being caught, choosing the high place but still stuck.
The idea that officers sometimes make mistakes because they're in tough spots too.
And even using it for economic policy shows how it applies to all sorts of dilemmas.
It's amazing how just a few words can capture such complex situations, isn't it?
Totally. Next up, spill the beans.
Letting a secret out. Accidental.
Yeah, the unintentional part is crucial. It's not like deliberately sharing. The video uses the classic example of accidentally revealing an engagement.
Right. And when someone says, your secret is safe with me, you know I won't spill the beans, it highlights that trust.
That discretion. The image is great too. Beans escaping a container, information getting out too soon.
You can almost picture it. The native speaker examples add some fun too.
Oh yeah.
trying to get kids to reveal family secrets.
Ah,
Or the point that if there's no secret, well, there are no beans to spill.
good one.
Oh.
Great way to describe a secret coming out unexpectedly. All right, pulling your leg. This is a lighter one.
Just teasing, right? Joking playfully.
Exactly. The video's scenario is spot on. Coworker jokes about working late, everyone reacts, then reveals they were kidding.
The playful intention is what makes it pulling someone's leg, not just, lying. It's lighthearted. The evil smile, mentioned in the native examples, captures that mischievous bit perfectly. It's like a gentle trick.
And the host admitting she pulls stuff up all the time fits perfectly. It's that friendly banter.
A reminder, not everything's meant seriously.
Okay, on Cloud 9.
Pure happiness, extreme joy.
Yes. The video's examples work so well being ecstatic since getting engaged or after winning the championship.
And the video rightly points out, conjugating to be, you are on cloud 9, you are on cloud 9. It's that elevated state.
Figuratively up in the clouds, right? Just elated.
Totally. And the native speaker examples, like still being on cloud 9 from Sunday when Aquafina won,
Nice specific one.
and just generally being pretty much on cloud 9, show how you can use it for any intense happiness.
It's that feeling when everything just feels right. Okay, next. Start from scratch.
Beginning all over again, right from the very start.
Pretty literal imagery, this one. The video's examples are clear. Computer crashing, have to restart a project.
Or learning English from the very beginning, no foundation left.
Exactly. Having to redo something entirely, nothing to build on.
The native speaker example of having to restart, and Macmillan's recent need to restart, really emphasizes that fresh beginning. It's like starting with raw ingredients.
Wiping the slate clean and beginning again.
Can be frustrating, but sometimes necessary.
For sure. Call the shots is next, meaning to be in control.
Yeah, make the important decisions, have the authority.
The video's example, this is my house, I call the shots, is about as direct as it gets.
It really is. And asking who calls the shots around here is just finding out who's in charge, like directing a game.
Makes sense. And the native speaker examples show its broader use, right? Like existing power structures calling the shots.
Or pharmaceutical companies having control.
And wanting to call the shot to make different decisions goes beyond just personal situations.
Definitely relates to influence and authority.
Let someone off the hook, that's a great one. Released from responsibility or punishment.
Exactly, or just a difficult situation. The video's example works well. Working late so someone else is off the hook for finishing the proposal.
Right, being relieved of an obligation. And the video adds that conditional bit, letting someone off the hook if they promise not to do it again.
Adds another layer. The metaphor of being caught on a hook and then released really signifies that freedom from burden.
And the native speaker examples show the different contexts, not wanting to let someone off the hook.
The idea that being off the hook can be hard to swallow, but still a relief.
And insisting that sales does not get off the hook. Lots of uses.
Often implies relief, yeah, for someone.
Now, cry over spilled milk. Don't get upset about something that's done right.
Pretty much. Something you can't undo. The video's example is classic. Client fired us, don't cry over spilled milk, focus on the future.
Emphasizes the futility of dwelling on the past. The advice to brainstorm how we can improve instead highlights that forward look.
And the visual is so clear, spilled milk, irreversible. Very memorable.
Yeah. And the native speaker examples, reinforcing the futility of crying and calling it the old saying, show how common it is.
It's all about moving on. Focus on what you can control.
Good reminder, bite the bullet is next.
Ooh, this one sounds tough. Doing something unpleasant but necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Facing it with courage, stoicism. The video's examples doing taxes, cleaning a messy garage, capture those tasks we dread.
But have to do.
And the origin is quite something, isn't it? Wounded soldiers biting a bullet during surgery before anesthesia.
Wow. Yeah, that really emphasizes enduring something painful.
It does. It's about enduring without complaint. The native speaker examples show the range, too. Wishing for courage to tell the truth.
Even reshaping a butter block is a necessary task.
Huh. It's about gritting your teeth and getting through it.
That historical context adds real weight.
Okay, be in hot water. Pretty clear, this one.
Yeah, means being in trouble.
The video's examples, forgetting an anniversary, a company violating safety protocols, both land you squarely in hot water.
The phrase itself implies some seriousness, doesn't it? Potential negative consequences.
Definitely. The native speaker examples from the Captain Flesh says you're in hot water.
Sounds ominous.
To a company like Tesla already having been in hot water, show its use in various contexts of trouble. The metaphor works: hot water, discomfort, potential harm.
You definitely don't want to find yourself there.
Not really. Okay, next is beat around the bush.
Avoiding the main point, talking indirectly.
Yeah. The video's examples are good. Asking for a raise indirectly or hinting before asking someone out.
The avoidance is key.
Yeah.
Often happens when the topic is sensitive, maybe uncomfortable.
Right. The native speaker example of someone giving a small gift to avoid a direct no,
Oh, yeah.
or the advice for a preview to just state what's coming, don't beat around the bush, it clarifies the meaning.
The origin from hunting makes sense too, beating bushes to flush game, an indirect approach.
So it's about getting to the point.
Can sometimes seem like a lack of directness, though.
True. Jump on the bandwagon. This means joining something just because it's popular, right?
Exactly. Because it's trendy. The video's examples are very current, learning to make Dubai chocolate,
Oh yeah, that was everywhere.
and companies jumping on the influencer trend.
The motivation is the popularity itself, not necessarily deep interest.
Right. The native speaker examples show different takes. Success of one film makes others follow.
Hoping a bandwagon drags things in a certain direction.
And a warning that it might not be a good time to jump on the bandwagon.
The image works literally jumping onto a moving wagon in a parade, joining something popular.
Following the crowd, sometimes there's that fear of missing out if you don't jump on.
Good point. And finally, for this first set, a dime a dozen.
I mean, something is very common, right? And often kind of lacking uniqueness.
Yes, the video points out that negative connotation. The examples of pickleball teachers and talented singers needing to stand out really highlight this.
The abundance implies a lack of distinction. The native speaker examples drive it home. Investors know that ideas are a dime a dozen, but execution matters.
And cocktail consultants are a dime a dozen. Shows that commonality may be lacking unique value.
It really highlights how English speakers seem to value uniqueness, standing out.
So if something's a dime a dozen, yeah, probably not that special. Okay, fear. That was a whirlwind tour of our first 15.
15 down.
Now we're shifting gears slightly, moving into idioms specifically used to describe people.
Ah, yes. Understanding these can really help you characterize someone quickly, concisely.
Shows the richness of the language for describing people, doesn't it?
Definitely.
First up in this category, a people person.
Someone who enjoys interacting with others, good at relationships.
Exactly. The video example, Jason is a real people person, always makes everyone feel welcome, nails it.
And using real intensifies it, emphasizes that genuine skill,
Yeah.
usually seen as a very positive trait.
For sure. And needing a people person for customer service makes perfect sense. Okay, next, a go-getter.
Ambitious, takes initiative, doesn't wait around.
Yeah, the video's enthusiasm is great here. The example of hiring someone because he's a go-getter, straightforward.
That active, driven nature is key. Proactive.
And the host's personal connection saying it describes her, and hopefully the listener too, if they're working on fluency, makes it relatable. Then, a smart cookie.
Intelligent, clever, but kind of casual. Fun way to say it.
Right. Emma solving a complex problem quickly shows she's a smart cookie.
The cookie part softens it. Less formal than just intelligent. Suggests quick-wittedness.
A bit more lighthearted. And the conditional, you're a smart cookie if you can figure out how to make that deal work, is a nice touch. Next is a social butterfly.
Very outgoing, loves socializing, flits around.
The host admits this doesn't describe her, which is funny. But the example of Pedro, who always knows what's happening around the office, paints a clear picture.
Thrives in social settings, knows lots of people. The butterfly image works well.
Definitely. Then we have the opposite, maybe. A couch potato.
Yes, definitely the opposite. Someone who spends a lot of time sitting, watching TV, inactive.
And the video correctly points out the negative connotation, right?
Absolutely. The example, I used to be a couch potato, but now I enjoy going to the gym, shows that change. The word potato itself implies inactivity.
Generally not a compliment.
Not at all.
And the imperative, don't be a couch potato, let's go for a walk. Good call to action. Moving on to a jack of all trades.
Skilled in many different areas, but maybe not an expert in one specific thing.
Yeah, the uncle who can fix computers, do plumbing, cook gourmet dinners. Perfect example.
Versatile.
And the video makes that important point. Jack is male, but the idiom is gender neutral.
That versatility can be really valuable, even without deep expertise.
Good to know. The example, as a jack of all trades, she's able to communicate to every department, highlights that. Next up, a straight shooter.
Positive one. Honest, straightforward, direct.
Appreciating working with Peter because he's a straight shooter. Great example. No pretense, no hitting agendas.
You know where you stand with him, often appreciated.
Exactly. And the manager who gives constructive criticism directly is also a straight shooter. Then we have a big shot.
Someone important, influential.
Yeah, but the advice, don't be intimidated by him because he's a big shot, suggests maybe a negative side sometimes, like being unapproachable.
Could be. And the video points out that acting like a big shot is definitely negative, behaving like you're superior.
So context really matters with this one. Good nuance. Next, set in one's ways.
Resistant to change, prefers routine, doesn't like new things.
The grandmother refusing to use a smartphone is a classic example. And the video reminds us about the possessive set in her ways, set in his ways.
That inflexibility, preference for the familiar, the example of instantly dismissing new ideas reinforces it.
Can be comforting routines, but being too set in your ways can be limiting, right?
Definitely.
Then a worrywart, someone who worries excessively.
Often unnecessarily, yeah. The advice, don't tell Sarah, she's such a worrywart, so relatable.
Totally. The repetition mentioned worrying tonight, tomorrow, a month from now emphasizes that persistent, often irrational worry.
It can be tough to reassure a real worrywart.
For sure. Next is a cheapskate, unwilling to spend money.
Or very frugal, but with the negative sound to it, yeah. Tim bringing his own popcorn to the movies. Telltale sign.
The negative connotation is important, implies excessive reluctance to spend.
There's a line between being thrifty and being a cheapskate.
And the advice, don't be a cheapskate, the more expensive one will last longer. Good point. Then a cold fish.
The opposite of a people person. Emotionally distant, unfriendly.
Dan seeming like a cold fish, but maybe just being shy, common scenario. Lack of warmth, emotional expressiveness defines it.
It can be hard to connect with someone who comes across that way.
Next, a backseat driver. We've all met one.
Oh yes. Gives unwanted advice, tries to control things, often when someone else is driving.
The plea, stop being a backseat driver, you're making me nervous. I heard that one before.
And the video rightly says it applies beyond driving, like interfering with someone's presentation.
Right, the non-driving example is good. It's about respecting how others do things.
Exactly.
Autonomy.
Moving on to a busybody, overly interested in other people's private stuff. Nosy.
Wishing a neighbor would stop being such a busybody, looking over the fence paints a clear picture.
That intrusive nature is key. Lack of respect for privacy.
Most people don't appreciate that. Then a wet blanket.
Someone who dampens the mood, kills the fun, brings everyone down.
Saying, it's only 9:00 p.m. and you want to go home. Don't be such a wet blanket. Classic party scenario.
Their negativity just deflates things. Even bringing up declining sales can feel like being a wet blanket.
Need to be mindful of the atmosphere. Next up, a loose cannon.
Unpredictable, right? Can unintentionally cause trouble.
Saying he's a bit of a loose cannon. We never know what he'll do next. Clear warning.
Unpredictability and potential for negative consequences are the hallmarks. The video notes the plural needs an S, loose cannons.
Can be exciting, but also risky to rely on them.
For sure.
Then, a bull in a china shop.
Clumsy, careless, especially in delicate situations.
The host admitting this probably describes her as funny, and not asking Sarah to help move because she's like a bull in a china shop, relatable.
The imagery is perfect. Large, clumsy animal, fragile items. Vivid potential for damage.
And good clarification that China here means porcelain, not the country.
Right. It's about lacking finesse.
Definitely describes some of us. Next, a dark horse.
Someone not well known, but who might surprise everyone and succeed, often in competitions.
Yeah, the example of someone being a dark horse but winning first place, classic underdog story.
That element of surprise, unexpected success, is central. They can be underestimated.
Which can work to their advantage. Then, a lone wolf.
Prefers to work alone, dislikes groups, independent.
Saying as a lone wolf, he prefers handling projects on his own is a clear description.
That preference for solitary work defines them. Different work styles suit different people.
True. Next, a know-it-all.
Ugh. Acts like they know everything, refuses to listen.
The advice, don't act like a know-it-all, you need to listen to other ideas. Good advice for everyone sometimes.
That arrogance, unwillingness to consider other views are key. Humility is usually better.
Definitely. Then, a creature of habit.
Prefers routines, does things the same way always.
The host's own example, same steam breakfast for over 10 years, fits perfectly.
That reliance on routine, resistance to deviation. The host notes it can sometimes seem negative if it means resisting change.
Comfort in routine, but flexibility is good too. Next, a breath of fresh air.
Someone or something new, refreshing, brings positive change.
Saying, working with Emily has been a breath of fresh air. She brings new ideas. That's high praise.
That positive impact, revitalizing effect, a welcome change from the norm.
Then, a stickler insists on strictly following rules.
Exactly. Greg, who won't even let us leave 5 minutes early, definitely a stickler.
And the video notes natives often shorten a snickler for the rules to just stickler.
That emphasis on adherence, even to minor rules. Rules are important, but sometimes a little flexibility helps.
Next, a class clown. Usually a kid, right? Always joking, maybe causing funny trouble.
Typically, yeah. School-age kids, humorous, often disruptive behavior.
The example of the son, who was a complete class clown, but is now successful on Wall Street, is a fun twist.
Sometimes that playful energy finds other outlets later.
And finally, in this people category, a tough nut to crack.
Someone or something difficult to understand or deal with.
Saying Tim is a tough nut to crack, it's hard to get him to open up. Relatable when trying to know someone reserved.
That resistance to being easily understood or influenced. Patience is often needed.
Wow, that was a lot of people idioms.
So many ways to describe personality.
But wait, there's more. Our final set focuses on the workplace. Super important for professional communication.
Definitely. Understanding these really helps navigate workplace interactions and nuances.
Okay, first up for work. To see eye to eye, meaning to agree.
Yeah. Agree with someone or that there is agreement. The example, important that the team sees eye to eye on the project's objectives. Crucial for teamwork.
And the video notes, it's often used negatively. We didn't see eye to eye.
Right. Agreement, shared perspective. Negative usage clearly shows a difference of opinion. Reaching that point prevents conflict.
Next is very similar. To be on the same page.
Shared understanding or agreement. Maybe more about information.
Yeah, the example, be on the same page regarding the timeline, highlights needing the same info and understanding.
And the video mentions using get the team on the same page to achieve that shared understanding.
So similar to see eye to eye, but maybe more about shared info than opinion.
Exactly. Ensuring everyone has the same baseline knowledge.
Then, to hit the nail on the head, describing something exactly right.
Perfectly. Saying you really hit the nail on the head with your analysis, great compliment. Accuracy, precision in finding the core issue.
Signifies a really insightful observation, to have a lot on one's plate.
Oh, relatable. Being very busy, lots of tasks.
Saying, I can't take on any more projects, I already have a lot on my plate. Common workplace refrain.
The image of an overloaded plate really conveys that feeling of being overwhelmed. Polite way to say you're too busy.
To get the hang of becoming skilled or familiar with something.
Yeah. Saying, it took a while, but I finally got the hang of the new software common experience.
And the host's encouragement to say, I got the hang of idioms, is a nice touch.
Emphasizes that learning process, becoming proficient. Sense of accomplishment when you finally get the hang of it.
Next is to cut corners. -1, the video says.
Doing something quickly, easily, but sacrificing quality.
The example, we can't afford to cut corners with our safety measures, highlights those negative implications.
That trade-off between speedies and quality is key. Often implies a compromise with bad consequences. Quickest isn't always best.
Then, a ballpark figure, sports reference, common in business.
An approximation, a rough estimate.
Asking, can you give me a ballpark figure for the budget? Standard request.
And the video explaining ballpark it for giving a rough estimate useful phrasing.
The imprecision is intentional, just a general idea, not exact numbers.
Useful when you need a quick estimate first.
To be in the same boat, in the same difficult situation as someone else.
Exactly. Saying we're in the same boat when it comes to global warming shows that shared predicament.
Shared hardship or challenge fosters solidarity.
Can be comforting knowing you're not alone.
Back to the drawing board. Starting over after failure.
Yep. Marketing campaign didn't work. Go back to the drawing board. Common scenario.
Need to restart, rethink, clearly conveyed. Part of the creative process sometimes.
Absolutely.
So pull strings. This one sounds a bit sneaky.
Using influence to manipulate or control the situation, yeah. Behind the scenes influence.
Saying she managed to pull some strings and get the project approved suggests that.
Or the relatable example of pulling strings for VIP tickets. Using indirect influence or connections.
Implies a bit of maneuvering. To cross one's fingers.
Hoping for good luck, often with the actual gesture.
Saying, I'm crossing my fingers that the client likes our proposal. Common expression of hope.
And the video asks if the gesture is universal interesting thought. Relies on that physical gesture for hope.
Visual way of wishing for the best. To be on the ball.
Alert, quick to understand or respond. Positive one, the video notes.
Boss saying, our team needs to be on the ball to meet the tight deadline, emphasizes that quick thinking, action.
Alertness, efficiency, responsiveness, definitely a compliment.
To throw in the towel, give up, surrender.
Exactly. The host's plea not to throw in the towel learning idioms is encouraging. Uses that boxing imagery towel in the ring means giving up.
Signifies admitting defeat. To have one's hands tied.
Unable to act because of external stuff.
Yeah. Boss saying, I'd like to help, but my hands are tied due to company policy. Common bureaucratic limitation.
And the common phrase, sorry, my hands are tied, is good to know. Lack of agency due to external constraints.
Can be frustrating when your hands are tied.
It really can.
To burn the midnight oil, working late.
Late into the night, yeah. The example, burn the midnight oil to meet the deadline. Familiar to many.
And the host's aside about needing sleep is funny. Working late, often for a deadline, significant effort.
Definitely implies that extra push.
To throw someone under the bus. Ouch, that sounds harsh.
It is. Blaming someone else, sacrificing them for personal gain, or to avoid blame yourself.
The scenario of one coworker blaming another for a failed project, prime example.
Betrayal, self-preservation at someone else's expense. Not nice at all.
Definitely not. To be on thin ice.
Risky situation.
Dangerous, precarious. Boss saying, this is the third time you're late, you're on thin ice. Clear warning about job security.
The image works, thin ice could break any moment. Risk of negative consequences.
Sign you need to be very careful.
To hit a snag. Encounter unexpected problems.
Challenges, difficulties, yeah.
Yeah.
Example, hitting a snag when a supplier couldn't deliver on time. Common business hurdle.
Unexpected obstacles disrupting progress. Reminder, things don't always go to plan.
So true.
To keep one's eyes peeled. Stay alert. Watchful.
For something specific, yeah. Coworker saying keep your eyes peeled for any updates. Clear instruction to be vigilant.
Alertness, focused attention, being proactive and looking for something to cut a deal, reach an agreement. Usually after negotiation, yes.
Yeah.
Saying, it took us a while, but we finally cut a deal signifies success.
Reaching a mutually acceptable agreement, often involving compromise, usually some back and forth.
Right.
To be up in the air. Things are uncertain, undecided.
Unresolved, yeah. Saying the conference is up in the air clearly indicates no firm plans yet.
Uncertainty, lack of definite outcome, can create anticipation or anxiety.
Depending on the situation, yeah.
And finally, in the works, the opposite of up in the air.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
In progress, being developed or finalized.
Saying the conference is in the works, updates that progress is happening.
Ongoing development, progress towards completion. Offers a sense of progress and anticipation.
Phew, 60 idioms. That was quite the exploration.
It really was a lot to dig in.
You know, truly understanding and using idioms does so much more than just make your English sound good.
Oh, absolutely.
It really unlocks a deeper connection to the culture embedded in the language. We've just scratched the surface using your chosen resource, but I hope you've gained some valuable insights into this fascinating aspect of English.
I think it provides a really solid foundation.
So here's something to think about. Start really tuning your ear to these idioms in conversations, shows, music.
Yeah, listen out for them.
Try slipping one or two into your own speaking this week. See how it feels.
Yeah, experiment a little.
You might just find it adds a whole new layer to how you express yourself. And remember, there's a vast and colorful world of English just waiting to be discovered.
Always more to learn.
What other linguistic adventures are you curious to dive into next?